Hello, and welcome back to Advanced Gathering Techniques. So this is the fourth video in the series, and in this video I'll be discussing the Mid-Gather Maid. So if you haven't seen my previous videos in the series, I highly recommend checking those out, especially if you're new to gathering or if you're like more of a casual gatherer. In those other videos, I go over the ranged gather, the animation cancel, and the mid-gather repair. And I'll put links to those videos in the description. Obviously, you'll want to combine all of these techniques to get the maximum benefit. All right, let's get started. So the Mid-Gather Maid. What the Mid-Gather Maid allows you to do is to use a maid to offload material into either the city storage or the central market warehouse without disrupting your gathering phase. And this is particularly useful when you're gathering at spots that give tons of material that end up quickly adding weight to your inventory. For example, wild herbs, like where I'm at, or when you're mining rocks, like at Pilgrim's Haven, or if you're gathering some kind of logs, right? Timber stuff. Okay, so let me just demonstrate it. Which pack should I use? I guess I use this pack. So let me just start by demonstrating it a couple times. So what I'll do is I'll gather all of the herbs in this pack, and then on the very last one, I will maid 1,000 of these silk honeygrass. Okay, so I'll maid 1,000 silk honeygrass into the storage, right? And then on the next pack, hopefully I'll do that and get to the next pack without any downtime. And then on the next pack, I'll do the same thing, but I'll use a market maid to put 2,000 fireflake flowers into the central market. Okay, so let's try it. Here we go. Animation cancel the first one. Hopefully I can animation cancel all of these. I can't guarantee it, but I'll try. So far so good. Oh, screwed up one. He spoke too soon. All right. We're almost there. Oh, I messed up another one. Okay, one more, and then I'm gonna maid 1,000 of those silk honeygrass. Here we go. Silk honeygrass, boom, done. Okay, and then we move on to the next one. So do a normal gather on the first one, then ranged animation cancel all these other ones. And so next I'm gonna put the fireflake flowers. I'm gonna put 2,000 into the market warehouse. Okay, here we go. Fireflake flower right here, boom, done. And then we move on to the next one. Okay, so just so, that last one was kind of fast, but just so you can see, you know, I put 2,000 of them into the market storage. Okay, so this is by far the most complicated technique thus far because there's quite a bit of setup required, and it takes, as you saw, it takes a bit of mechanics to be able to execute smoothly. And I'm still practicing it, right? I've only been doing this for a couple days now. I've only been practicing it for a little while. Okay, anyway, so first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your character's weight limit is maximized so that it takes as long as possible for you to get overweight. Because even with maxed out weight limit like that I have, and 13 maids, using them on cooldown, I still eventually get overweight, given enough time. So, you know, make sure you got all your pearl weight limit increases and loyalty weight limit increases, etc. And then also clear out your inventory. I'm not a good example. I have a bunch of crap here, but yeah, clear out your inventory of any unnecessary stuff that might be taking up additional weight. Okay, so the next thing you'll obviously want is a maid, right? The transaction maid is definitely the more valuable one of the two, and I'll explain why in a bit. I think the Black Spirit gives you a free maid if you do his quests. I'm pretty sure. And then also sometimes they'll put maids in the attendance reward calendars. Like at the end of this one, you get a free transaction maid, which I'm pretty hyped about. It's pretty good. Let's see. And then of course, good old fashioned Pearl Shop, right? If you got the real life money to spend, you click Travel Aid, click Maid Butler, and then you can buy maids from here. I usually wait until they're discounted, or if there's some kind of a bundle where you can buy, you know, a couple of them for less price or for less cost. All right. What else? Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your city storage has enough empty slots for you to dump the material into. So, but before that, you kind of have to identify which materials you get in the largest quantities at when you're gathering at these particular spots. So, for example, at Bear, there's 6 main materials that you'll get in the largest quantities. So I make sure that I have at least 6 storage slots in Calpheon available to hold these. Okay, the next thing you'll want to do is to make sure your central market warehouse has enough VT, which I guess is like virtual weight or something. I'm not sure what VT stands for, but essentially make sure that this bar has enough empty space. Oh, and this is where a Commonwealth blessing is really useful, because if you look down here, the Commonwealth blessing, it increases the capacity by 2,000 VT, which is really good. And then not only that, it also allows you to maid over double the amount of materials into the market with a single transaction maid usage. And this is why I said the transaction maid is definitely the more valuable of the two. So for example, without a Commonwealth running, I'd only be able to put 1,000 grass into the market at a time, which is the same amount as a storage maid can put into the storage. But with a Commonwealth blessing running, a transaction maid can put 2,000 grass into the market at a time. So it's twice as good as a storage maid for offloading weight. And then here's kind of a bonus tip. I also like to keep an alt character in the city that's like parked right next to the central market NPC. So whenever the market VT fills up, I can just swap to that alt and free up space by transferring all the materials into the storage. Okay, so that. Okay, so now let's briefly talk about setting up quick hotkeys, which I covered in the previous video, the Mid-Gather repair video. So you're going to press escape, you're going to click settings, then you're going to go to quick hotkey, and you want to make sure that both your storage maid and your market maid are bound to a quick hotkey. Okay. Next, open your inventory and uncheck the auto arrange box. Make sure that this is unchecked because now you want to then move all of the materials that you get in the highest quantities, move it to an easily accessible location. So you can have it at the top or you can have it on the side. I prefer the left column because in my mind, it's far less distance for my mouse to travel. If when I'm trying to, if I'm gathering here, then I can just move my mouse over. This is the closest inventory slots to what I'm gathering, right? Because if it was on the top and there was one all the way on this side, I'd have to move my mouse all the way over there, right? So it's about minimizing the distance. All right, so now press your storage maid quick hotkey, and now what you want to do here is you want to right-click a stack of items and make sure this max quantity box is checked, okay? So that you can automatically maid the max amount of materials. And then so now you can escape out of that. Okay, so now press your transaction maid hotkey and make sure that this auto arrange is also unchecked. Okay? Okay, so we're just about ready to try this technique. So for this technique, I keep my inventory open on the side as much as possible because I'm constantly monitoring the quantities of these 6 materials, right? So, and as soon as I see that I have enough, I have the maximum allowable quantity to use, to transfer with a maid, then I use the maid immediately, right? So for example, here I see that I have 1,000 and I know that I can put 1,000 into the storage. So I want to use a storage maid. And then for these ones, I have 3,000. So I know I can use I know I can put 2,000 into the market, so I know I definitely want to use a market made for at least 2,000 of this, right? So, and this kind of brings up another thing that I kind of forgot to mention in previous videos. So, um, I actually have my control key. When I'm gathering, I have my control key bound to a mouse side button because it's in a really inconvenient location on the keyboard, right? And when you're gathering, you're constantly pressing control to enable and disable the mouse mode, right? So also, not only that, I also bind my I key to a mouse side button because with this particular technique, you're going to be opening your inventory quite a bit to make sure to monitor the quantities of your materials. Um, let's see, what else? Oh yeah, and of course I is in an even more awkward location for your left hand, right? If you're moving around with WASD, I is like it's like in a different country. Okay, so one last thing before we actually go over the mechanics of this. I like to move this gear window. I like to stack it on top of this so that when I press I, it's not interfering, right? See that? So it's behind this window. See? Okay, so what else? Let's try a pack. Let's try a pack, and let me see if I can explain everything that I'm doing. All right, so we're gonna start here, like I said, do a normal gather, then we're gonna range animation cancel everything in the pack, and then on the last one, we're going to made it over using a storage maid, and I guess we'll made the silk honeygrass. Oh, and that brings up another thing I forgot to mention. The reason I never explained the reason that we wait until the last herb in the mid-gather repair video. The reason that we waited to the last herb before we repaired is because if you do it on any earlier herb, it's going to be very difficult to continue gathering afterwards, right? Because you're doing animation cancels, which you have to prepare ahead of time, right? You have to click the next herb ahead in order to prepare to do the animation cancel properly. So the advantage of doing it at the end is that you don't have any other herbs to prepare for, right? So you have extra time that you can then use to repair, or in this case, to transfer materials into storage or the warehouse, right? So, all right, so let's try it. So I'm going to keep my inventory open so I can monitor the quantities, and then we're going to start gathering this again. All right. So what's going to happen is at the end, I'm going to get ready to press my made quick hotkey. So just animation canceling right here. So I'm going to wait until the very end, and as soon as I start channeling that last one, I'm going to press my made hotkey. I'm going to right click the silk honeygrass. Okay, see, made hotkey, right click silk honeygrass. I'm going to press space and then escape and then R to claim the loot. Okay, so that was kind of like a slow motion thing. So I'll do it on a different pack, and I'll do the same thing again. This time I'll put 1,000 of the silver azalea in. Okay, so we're going to do a normal gather here, do a range gather animation cancel on the first one, or on the next one. Range gather animation cancel, range gather animation cancel. Here we go. I'll do another slow-mo one so you can get the hang of it. Okay, the last one, I'm going to press R. I'm going to press my made quick hotkey, right click silver azalea, press space to put it in, press escape, and then press R. Okay, and so that'll disable mouse movement as well, so I don't have to press control to disable anything, and I can move right onto the next pack. Okay, so that one's the simpler one. Whenever you use a market made, it's way more complicated. Not way more, but it's harder. And so part of the reason that it's harder is because if you watch, when I press my transaction made hotkey, I have to click the window is over here. It's not on the right, and I can't put it into this to the market from this inventory. I have to put it in from the left side from this inventory window, right? So I kind of have to remember the vertical location of what I'm trying to put in. So I'm going to put the silver azalea in. I have to remember that it's the fourth one down, and then I have to press, I'll show it to you in context in slow motion. So we'll do this pack, and we'll range animation cancel all these other ones. And then at the end, I'll use my market maid. All right, here's the last one right here. So market maid, right click, space. And so this one, you want to press escape and then R, same thing. Actually, I think you have to press escape, then control, then R. I don't know why that time it seemed like I didn't have to press control. Let me try it one more time and let's see, without talking. I'm pretty sure you have to press control after you press escape to disable the mouse movement. Okay, this time I'm going to put the sunrise herb. So sunrise herb, yeah, you do have to press control. So you got to press, you right click the item, press space, click escape, then control to disable mouse movement, and then you can press R to claim the thing. Okay, so the final point is when we come to the pack where your tent is, don't do the Mid-Gather Maid on this pack, because this is the pack where you need to do the Mid-Gather Repair. Okay, so let me show you the Mid-Gather Repair once, just for fun, because we're here. Okay, so on the last one, I'm gonna press R, and then I'm gonna press my my Mid-Gather Repair hotkey, or I guess my tent repair hotkey. Then I'm gonna click repair, press space, then exit by pressing escape twice, and then press R. Okay, so that was like a slow motion Mid-Gather Repair. All right, so I'm gonna do one more market maid, Mid-Gather Maid. Okay, so one, and I'll put the wild grass in here. Boom, just like that. Okay. All right. So I think I covered pretty much everything. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to put any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Yeah. Thank you for sticking around, for watching. I hope you learned something. If you liked the video, click the thumbs up. Subscribe if you want more Black Desert content. Click the bell if you want to be notified. I also stream on Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/moonglider. Go there and click follow if you want to see when I go live next. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have another idea for the next video. It won't be nearly as complicated as this one, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get around to making it at some point. All right. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.